Hello, everyone. This is Stacy. Welcome to the landing. Today on the landing, I am so thrilled to welcome my cousin and friend, Chad Dickinson. He grew up down east and has always loved his home. From fishing and boating to clamming and floundering, Chad knows all the things an island boy should know, and he carries these lessons of the water and shore with him through his life. He is a gifted musician and artist, and most recently, he's poured that creativity into starting his own t-shirt design company, inspired by the beauty and heritage of Harker's Island. Chad's love and pride for who he is, whose he is, and where he's from shine through as he shares his memories and stories with us today. I hope you enjoyed this interview as much as I did. Well, welcome everyone back to the landing. I have a very special guest today that I am thrilled accepted my invitation to join us. Without further ado, I would like for you to please share with us your name and who's your crowd and where you're from.
Okay, yeah, my name is Chad Dickinson. My crowd is John and Connie Dickinson. Um, uh, uh, you know them a little bit better by Aunt Connie and Uncle Dickie.
Yes,
So,
I do. That's right.
yeah, yeah. So my daddy, he grew up in the metropolis of Otway, North Carolina, and my mother grew up in Harker's Island her whole life, and she made him move to the island, and we grew up in the eastern end of the island. Let's say not too far from Shell Point, but more on the Browns Island side, and grew up there uh, through high school, I would say, and my mom still lives there, and so yeah, she's not leaving, she's not going anywhere. It doesn't look like.
Why? Why would you? Right?
Yeah, I'm the crazy one.
Says us who did that. That's right. Oh my goodness. Yes, you are down the road from me, and we grew up. I on Bayview Drive. You were there on that on the curve. Where?
Yeah, and I believe, if I'm not fooled up, that like mom and daddy were I think the first one down that end of Bayview, because we got pictures of a one lane dirt road, like looking towards the west, like looking your way, and there's nothing.
Wow.
And soon after that, I believe like Manly and Joy come
Mm-hmm.
down there, and Joel and Susan, Aunt Bonnie and Uncle Ronnie,
Uh-huh.
Kent Marla. So, and they were all around the same age. So I think it was like some cheap property, and I think it was swampy, and like, well, I think that's where we're gonna. But now it's just crazy. There's nowhere to put a house anymore.
No, there's not. I know my sister Tanya and I were talking about that just yesterday, how things have changed. But I think the same thing, mom and daddy were one of the first houses on Bayview where we were. We were kind of on I don't know. I wouldn't want to say middle. We were even shorter than that distance down Bayview, closer to the water tower. And then around us, we saw the community, grow. But yeah, I mean, I can't remember how much Daddy said the property was, but it wasn't much, Chad.
No, it
Wow.
wasn't. It was a lot. It was a lot then, and it was
Yes.
one of them things where like, oh man, I wish I'd have bought all of it,
Yes.
because they could have bought it for a couple $1,000s, but it
Yeah.
was a lot to them. It's no different than it is now. We'll be like 20 years from now saying we should have bought everything we could see.
That's right. That's right.
It's no
Exactly.
different. Yeah,
It's
it's no different.
all relative.
Yeah, but
Well, what are some of your earliest memories of growing up on the island? Because even though we were close together, we didn't see each other a lot because we didn't have transportation, like we would walk and do. So, like, you played with your neighborhood and I played with my neighborhood. So what did y'all do down there on that end of Bayview Drive?
Yeah, we had just a little group of kids around the same age. I had
Hmm.
Nathaniel Nelson, right, basically right
Yes.
beside me,
Uh-huh.
and we had all the Hancocks, all the Joel and Susan Hancock youngins, and they were right around. Joella was in my class, Emily was a year older,
Mm.
and they were all right there. And then we had Marlon Kent's kids, Kathy, Shanna Guthrie, Vaughn
Oh,
Guthrie,
yes. Yep. Yep.
right there in basically one neighborhood.
Yep. Yep.
And it was,
Tommy and Thelma. There's a bunch.
yep,
Yeah.
yep, there's Tiffany right there. She's a little bit younger, but yeah, it was a big group of kids right there, and we
Mhm.
we are all. I mean, it was a neighborhood thing a lot of times, and it seemed like for some reason Nathaniel was always one to get hurt. No matter what we did, he was always one to get hurt and get killed doing something stupid.
Yes.
But yeah, in fact, it just hit me like I remember making like mud pies over at Joel and Susan's with Emily, Joel, and the kids, and we'd get those holly berries and put them in the mud pies, and
Yes.
yeah, just stuff like that, just being kids, and we could also walk down to it was on the Browns Island side where we could walk down to the water. We
Mm-hmm.
had to go through the woods, and it was a path to go back there, very narrow path, but we could go back there, and
Mm-hmm.
um, we could shoot sand fillers and things
Yeah.
like that.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And I believe you were talking to somebody the other day. You said the sand fillers had disappeared, but I got to thinking about that. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
don't see them much anymore. But
Yeah. And they used to be everywhere.
I know, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and I hadn't even thought about that. But yeah, it
Uh-huh.
was just it was very like outdoorsy.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously nothing much to do inside, and it was a dirt road. I remember when that was paved, and the funny part is, I'll tell you, when they first started paving that, they would started paving at the end of Joel and Susan's road there on Lewis. I think it's Lewis Street,
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, it is.
And we were coming from school. Well, I was on the school bus, and they were down there working on that end. And Miss Connie, I think it's Connie Gaskell, she was
Yes.
driving a school bus.
Yes, Miss Connie.
She, yeah, she stopped the school bus and let everybody cheer. Everybody went to one side of the bus and started cheering for them because they were paving the road.
Really, Chad?
Yes, it was. That hits me every now and then. Like they thought we were crazy, but
Oh my goodness, that is so awesome.
yeah, it's funny. Yeah, we all went to one side and started cheering for them because they were paving our roads. But
Well,
yeah,
that
it's
was a
just
big deal.
it was because it was, yeah, dirt road for a long time. But by the time you got to your house, it was paved by that, right?
Yes,
By
yes,
but
yep,
but then
that's
it
right.
turned dirt right there around Lang Yachts area. It
Yep.
started to turn dirt. But something else I thought about too was it would be nothing when I was a little kid in the middle of the night for somebody to knock on our door and they were stuck and wanting daddy to come pull them out.
Are you serious?
Stacy, all the time. It would be a knock on the door, daddy'd go answer it. Somebody would be, no cell phones in the middle of nowhere on
Right.
that end, and they had limited choices on who you're going to ask, right?
Wow.
I think somebody said one time my daddy was always the one with the chain. He always had chain and chainsaws and tractors and all that stuff, but he would be the one to just go pull them out. So just stuff like that just hits me every now and then. It's kind of odd, but it's
Yeah.
just the way it was. I mean,
Wow.
I'm talking like 2 o'clock in the morning.
Oh my goodness. So all hours of the night,
Yeah, yeah,
people would
towing
come
service.
and get stuck. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
That's funny.
yeah.
And yep, and it was not, I mean, like you said, there were no cell phones. You couldn't call for roadside assistance.
No, 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 you're just gonna get no. It was daddy's towing service. So just stuff like that hits me every now and then.
Wow. And we took that for granted. We thought that was normal,
Yeah, I know,
you
right?
know?
I know it. I know
Oh
it.
my gosh. What was your favorite thing to do? I know this about you, but share with us. Like, where did you spend your time, especially, say, summers, because things changed when school started a little bit. But
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, growing up on island, it wasn't glamorous. It was
mm,
it was go to school. Your parents went to work, come home, rinse and repeat. And
Yep.
but I will say where it changed a little bit was the summers, and I was lucky enough to have family, and we had boats on and off when I was growing up, and my granddaddy, your granddaddy,
Mm-hmm.
always had a boat, and it was an open invitation for anybody to go at any time.
Mm-hmm.
And my mother loved clamming, and my
Oh,
granddaddy loved clamming,
yes.
and I didn't know at that time, but I was going to love it whether I liked it or not, and so we would go clamming all the time and things like that. But and and also growing up, every time you would go out in a boat, no matter with who, nothing about it had to do with leisure or relaxing
Nope.
like it like
Nope.
it does now. Like
Uh-uh.
every time we go out now, it's all about where we're going to set up and where we're going to put the cooler and blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
Then it was never about relaxation ever. It
Mm-hmm.
was never a thought.
Yep.
And so it was always about going and accomplishing a task. And
Yep.
that was coming back with something usually.
Yep. It
And
was making money or cooking or fixing, I mean, getting food to cook, to eat.
exactly.
It was not,
Exactly.
yeah, I
Yeah.
know.
And it was, and now it's, it's just totally opposite.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now it's
Or
spending money.
I know, or at the most, if it was like I went out with, with some other families, and if it was like a leisure trip, they would set a net on the way out
Mm-hmm.
and then go do what you got to do, and then on the way back in, check your net and for if you got some fish.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for
And
sure.
and so
Yep.
it was that was woven in there some kind of
Mm-hmm.
way.
Yeah.
Granddaddy would also take us fishing. We'd go to Bottle Rum Hole, I think Bottle Rum Hole, I believe is what he called it.
Mm-hmm.
And when my cousins would come down for the summer, it would always be a couple of times, at least once, we'd get all the cousins together and we'd all go over there to Bottle Rum Hole. It was just
Now,
as
now, where is that, Chad?
that is kind of right off the western end of the island. When you leave Rush Point and you head towards Shackleford,
Mm-hmm.
it's a little bit to the east,
Okay. Okay. So that area. Okay.
but not far.
Uh-huh.
It's not towards Wade Shore, but it's a little bit to the east if
Mm-hmm.
you head straight across from Rush Point.
Okay.
And it's not, when I say a hole, I mean if it's if it on high tide, if it's 3 foot deep, that would be 4 foot deep. you know, it ain't much of a hole. But on low tide, yeah, yeah, that's where all the fish would go.
Right.
And
Right.
yeah, we'd go there and set a net, set it in a big round circle, and
Mm-hmm.
all the boys would get out and start
Mm-hmm.
pulling the net together. Granddaddy would be on the boat end with his John boat and
Mm-hmm.
pulling one end around just so it would come in a smaller circle and bring all those fish in one round,
Mm-hmm.
tight
Yeah.
area.
That's my
But that's
favorite kind of fishing.
yeah. So yeah, you know all about it, and and so you also know all about, like, you got to keep the lead line on the bottom.
Yes. Yes.
You better keep that lead line on the
Uh-huh.
bottom, and you
That's
got to hook your foot around
that's right. It's been hollered to me many a time. Stacy, pay attention.
well, that's what I was about to say. You're gonna get hollered at.
Uh-huh. That's
You're
right.
gonna get hollered at, and that my cousins still talk about that. That's the only time we've seen Granddaddy get upset, really, like mad.
Yeah,
And
right.
but I know he wasn't mad. I know he's frustrated because he was trying to convey things to us that we didn't understand.
Right.
Now
That's
that
right.
I think about it, as an adult, we didn't like, and growing up when I was little, and he'd say, go to the aft and go, it's on the other side of the thought. And I didn't know, you know,
Yes, what are you talking about?
I don't know. Yeah, what does that mean? So he knew what he wanted to do, but he had 10 or 12 people over there that was just running around crazy doing, and but
Yep.
we but you learned a lot, that's for
Learn.
sure.
That's right. There's
And you
look, one time Granddaddy took Daryl oystering. Okay. He's gonna teach him how to go. And they came back that later that day and Granddaddy was laughing, still laughing.
oh no.
Daryl weren't laughing. And come to find out what had happened was Granddaddy had pulled up near Oyster Rock and Daryl had jumped overboard. And you know what? He
Oh,
he moored him down in that
oh no.
mud. And like
Mhm.
that never got out of it. And now
Mm-mm.
granddaddy did some laughing at him because yeah, he learned the hard way.
You can get in a scrape like that. That is so it's dangerous, really, but it's
Yes.
funny, but it's dangerous. Yeah, you can
Yeah.
get yeah,
Which is
it's
why we didn't want granddaddy to go by himself when he got older.
you get stuck in the mud and then yeah,
Can't move.
it's dangerous. It's
Yeah.
dangerous. Yeah. That's
Uh,
funny. That's funny.
uh-huh.
I can see
Yeah.
Daryl doing that.
Oh yes, and granddaddy just laughing, laughing, laughing. Uh-huh. It was funny. Well,
But
what else would y'all do? I know that you definitely have caught a many a clam in your life and a many a fish. What's your favorite thing to do in the water? What kind of catch?
goodness, yeah, I would say flounder gigging.
Oh yeah?
That's what I would say. And
Mm-hmm.
I do love clamming, and because it rubbed off on me from mom, she loves
Mm-hmm.
it. And
Mm-hmm.
really, I, the most fun thing about clamming is scouting and like going places that you've never been before and trying it. And we everywhere you go, you can look 300 yards over there and think, okay, that's where they're at, and
Mm-hmm.
you want to go try that, and then they're not there, and then you want to go over there, and so
Mm-hmm.
me and Mom has probably spent most of our time doing that, but we've been all over clamming. We've been from sea level, off sea level, all the way down different places, all kinds of excursions, and
Oh wow.
and yeah, got in scrapes, got in storms, and had trailer trouble. It's the greatest mess, but we've done it.
Yeah, you talk about it, you've done it. That's for sure.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
my.
but yeah, I would say like growing up, we got that Hancock skiff when I was a sophomore or junior in high school, and
Mm-hmm.
had that flounder deck on it, and we would go flounder gigging, and that was a lot of fun. It is fun. Even when you're not doing anything, you're just poling. You get to see all this wildlife under you that you don't even know is there during the day.
That's something I've never done.
Are you serious?
I'm serious. I've never been.
Stacy, it is unbelievable. You just see everything, gars and eels
Wow.
and just all this wildlife. You don't know is there during the day. You have no idea,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
and it is something else. And that's a big part of it. And then when you get in a few, I think on one of these your daddy talked about him going with my daddy and how much they
Yes.
caught one night.
Yes. Yep. Yep, he
Yeah,
did. He told that story. He tells
but
me that story often, actually.
yeah,
Um, yep, I love to eat them. Nothing better to me than a baked flounder, but
I know,
I've
I know it.
never going to catch one.
Yeah,
Yep. Well, now when you were in school, you played baseball. Is that right?
yeah, yeah.
Yep. Did you start when you were young?
Well, I think I did the T-ball thing for a little bit, but I didn't do it long. I remember Daddy, like on the way home after one of them T-ball games, and him looking at me and say, "Chad, if you don't want to do this, you ain't got to do it." And I said, "I don't want to do it," and that was that. That was it. And it might have hurt his feelings a little bit, but he got over it. But
Uh-huh. I
yeah,
love that.
yeah. But he goes, that's why he wanted somebody to play baseball, but.
Mm-hmm.
I believe I was around 11 or so, and I remember hearing rumblings around school of there was going to be like first practice after school, and
Mm-hmm.
some of the kids were trying to talk me into it. And I went home that day, and I was like, on the fence, like I don't know,
Uh-huh.
I don't think I want to do this. And at the very last minute, I said I'm going to do it, and I couldn't find my glove. I had to call Nathaniel and say, Nathaniel, I need to use your glove. And I ran up there, I got his glove, and I believe I had to call Granddaddy to come get me because my daddy hadn't got home from work yet.
Oh my goodness.
Granddaddy come got me, took me up there and dropped me off. And yeah, that's really what started it. And me and Bo Scott were out there that day, like long tossing, like probably didn't even warm up or nothing. I know we didn't
Mm-hmm.
actually,
Oh,
and
I'm
we were
sure you did.
and
Yeah.
we were just seeing how far we could throw it. And we would, I mean, and then Charlie Scott walked up and said, "We're going to have to put that to use." He's talking to me,
Uh-huh.
and that right there, that is what started my baseball career after that. And let I couldn't talk about baseball without talking about Charlie Scott
Wow.
and how much like he done for me, like
Mhm.
believing in me, getting me started, and just he that year he just started. He pounded fundamentals in us. I remember going in the gym and like getting in a line and him just showing us the rocker step back, turn your foot this way, you do your leg kick that, and everybody follow him
Mhm.
and just fundamental, basic fundamentals about fielding grounders and catching pop flies, using two hands, getting down on one knee.
Mhm.
And that's exactly what we needed. You know,
Yes.
that fun, just basic, but at the time probably boring.
Mhm.
And we just
Right.
want to go play. We just want to go play. We just want to go hit. But it's exactly what we need. And he didn't let off of it. He made us like play like we practiced. And
Mhm.
he was so knowledgeable about baseball and about the rules of baseball. I, I would say the most knowledgeable about the rules, but my cousin Jimmy Pale would probably get mad at me for saying that.
Right. Well, he's earned that now, maybe. Right.
He certainly knows more,
He knows
but
a little bit.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I remember Miss Sue would say that he would take the rule book around with him, take it to the bathroom and read it, and take it to work and read it, and
Wow.
he knew baseball so good,
Mhm.
and he did so much for me
Mhm.
in that part of my life to get me going in that direction.
Wow.
Yeah, he was something else. And then after that, high school, I grew up with Daddy talking about Paul Dameron
Mhm.
and about how hard and far Paul Dameron could hit a baseball.
Mhm.
And I was like heavy into baseball at this point, and I was like, "This is a mythical creature. Like, I don't know this Paul Dameron. Where is it? I've never met him. Who is this guy that can hit a baseball so hard and so far, right?"
Right.
And so I never met him. And then I was a freshman in high school, and I heard that Paul Dameron was going to be the coach of the JV
Oh,
baseball team.
wow. Uh-huh.
And I was excited and nervous at the same time because
Mhm.
here's this person that I looked up to. He had no idea I looked up to him,
Mhm.
but he was also a huge part of making baseball fun
Mhm.
and but being good at the same time.
Mhm. Mhm.
And it was unbelievable. He was such a good coach at not sweating the small stuff, letting you do your thing and not really nitpicking you about mechanics, but
Wow.
and just making it fun. I remember one of the first practices I was practicing pitching, and he come up there and stepped up there in the batter's box, but he didn't have a bat. He had a glove. He had a first baseman's mitt. And I said, "What are you doing? Where's your bat?" And he says, "Don't worry about it. Just bring it in here." And I think my first two was right. I mean, just beautiful. He's like, "All right, looking good." And my third one was right at his chest. And he caught it with his glove. He said, "That's why I got the glove. You understand now?" So
Protection.
I know, yeah. I was young and wild. I didn't know where it was going to go, but
Uh-huh.
I think they call it effectively wild.
There you
Is
go.
that's yeah.
There
But
you go. Oh my goodness.
yeah,
I love it. And now I know your daddy was thrilled when you were playing baseball.
loved it,
Yeah.
loved it,
Mhm.
loved it. He went everywhere. Mom and Daddy did not miss a game anywhere we went.
Mhm.
Like, and he was there. He would come home from Cherry Point and stop there and practice and pick me up and drive me home, and we talk about baseball every day.
God bless. Yep.
Every day. And no matter where it was, they went. They
Yep.
went to every game everywhere and just loved it. I mean,
Mhm.
they just love baseball, and it was a group of them. Heber
Mhm.
and a bunch of them would like travel together. And I think, I, but they all had a good time, so I don't feel too bad for them.
No, that's right. They wanted to be there. That's for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, now you played baseball then all 4 years at East Carteret?
Yeah, yeah, all 4 years. Yeah, sure did. Yeah, and we had good teams. I think that first year we went 10-0. We went undefeated
Oh, wow.
With Paul Dameron. I still got that hat. My East
Mhm.
Carter hat says 10-0 on it. And yeah, and then
Mhm.
Gary Chadwick's crew, we did really well my senior year. We
Mhm.
were not far from state champions. We lost the game that would have took us to the state championship.
You probably don't remember this, but I was there. that game, and
The one we lost.
yeah, yep, because I don't remember where it was. Where
It
it
was
was.
in Orange County, not far from Greensboro.
There you go. There you go. And it was me and Daryl and
Jimmy.
Jimmy
Yeah.
Paler. Yep,
Yeah.
yep, yep. And
Why?
we went there to see you. How about that?
I am sorry you went to that game.
Well, we have been to some others, but we did. Well, you kidding? We wouldn't have missed it. It was fun, and the thrill, the chance that we had to possibly make it that there.
I
It
know.
was good, good,
Well, the
good
one right
fun.
before that was the Currituck game where they were
Mm-hmm.
undefeated and we beat them,
Beat them,
which
yes.
nobody was expecting that. So that was a big game, and we
Mm-hmm.
made it. Yeah, so it
Yeah,
was fun. That was exciting. That was
that was
really exciting.
that was so
Yeah.
much fun. And then now you played some at LCC.
Yeah, yeah, went to LCC, played a couple years there, loved it. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
learned a ton.
Mm-hmm.
Really, I learned how to pitch there. Really, I was just trying
Mm-hmm.
to, I don't know what I was doing before that, but I learned real quick. I mean, those hitters, man, it was some competition, I tell
Mm-hmm.
you. And
Mm-hmm.
I think some hitters, a lot of players that couldn't make it like in a big school that deserved to be on a team. They,
Mm-hmm.
with no grades, and that's where they ended up. And it
Yes.
was it was a lot of competition. That's where I had to learn how to pitch and hit my spots, change speed, hit spots. But
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
found out real quick that they loved whatever speed I was throwing, high 80s, low 90s, is what they loved.
They
Real
tee off.
quick. That's what
Uh-huh.
they wanted. So I had to learn how to pitch there,
Uh-huh.
and felt like I run track because I was strictly a pitcher. And you go to practice and you just start running.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
told coach, I was like, I didn't want to run track. I want to play baseball, but it didn't.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
It didn't work.
You
Yeah,
did it anyway. Build up that
it didn't.
stamina. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but yeah, it was fun, and then it learned a lot and learned discipline, and
Mm-hmm.
it's your life for a couple years, and
Mm-hmm.
your coach makes it be your life, so you can't get in trouble.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. That's it. Keep your nose
Yeah,
clean. That's right.
yeah, and
Um.
so yeah,
So now, what have you done since then? I know, where are you now, and what's your career and all that kind of stuff.
yeah. So after college, got met my wife, we got married, and I moved to where she kind of grew up, not far from there, and you know how it is. We had family growing up that would leave. They would get jobs. They would have kids. Kids would start going to school, and they're stuck. You can't come back home then, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so
Right.
that's kind of what happened to me. I moved
Right.
here and got a
Uh-huh.
job, just anything I could find, and then got married and had some kids and liked the school system, and then like you're done. Like
Mm-hmm.
there's no leaving. And but yeah, I'm in. We moved to Concord, was there for a long time, and now we're not far from Concord area, right outside of Charlotte. It's in a little town called Mount Pleasant,
Mm-hmm.
and it's country, and we're blessed, had great kids, and a nice nice place out here in the country. So I'm not
Mm-hmm.
complaining, but someday I want to get back east for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I know. I totally understand what you just said. Every bit of it.
I
Too well.
know, I
Yeah.
know. Yeah,
Now,
so
and I'll tell you're probably going to say, no, I'm not when I say this, but you remind me so much of your dad. You're like a jack of all trades, but you are a musician. You are very good with your hands as far as building goes. Tell us a little bit about that. Where do you think that comes from?
I don't know. I wish I could pay attention and focus on one thing, but like you say, I'm in a little bit of everything, and I can't help it.
Mm-hmm.
I yeah, I picked up the guitar in college, and me and my roommate Jason Guthrie, his daddy says that's what we learned most in college. That he didn't know how we was going to put on our shoes afterwards, but we can play the guitar. and but one of the best decisions I ever made was that picking that up, because it's a lifelong thing, and it's a lifelong frustration
Mm-hmm.
that I mean, no matter how good you are, you still don't think, you're not. All you got to do is look at YouTube for 5 minutes and think, yeah, I just might as well put it down. But yeah, love it, love that. And then just, yeah, every little hobby you can think of, every little
Mm-hmm.
thing you can think of. And
Mm-hmm.
then yeah, well, you know my latest thing, messing
Yes.
with the shirts and stuff, but it ain't no like ain't no telling. Ain't no
Yeah.
telling what. I think Aunt Bonnie said he can do something.
He can do something.
He
That's
can
right.
do something.
She said that about you many a time.
Yeah, he can do
Um,
something.
Sometimes good, sometimes bad, Chad.
I
Um,
know.
but yeah, you're making very good T-shirts now. We've got a few of them, and I love the name. Tell everybody the name of that venture.
Yeah, it's Island Lines Co. And that was not by mistake. I mean, I started out with a decal cutting machine, and then learned I could make shirts, and then it just kind of grew, and I was like, I want to something specific for the island. I was making lighthouse shirts and stuff like that, but I
Hmm.
want I want something specific. I want something unique. And then I was like, I want an island boat. I want something with an island boat on it, because that's for me what says Harker's Island is an
Yes.
island boat. It's
Yep.
undeniable, right?
Right.
And so I started playing around with that, and it's embarrassing to say if somebody saw these designs, you were like, oh, I can knock that out in a couple hours. But it's embarrassing to say how long it took me to do some of these things, because I knew I had to get everything just right.
Hmm.
Because like you could go up north a little bit, or you can go down south a little bit, and you can see a boat, a wooden boat, and it's a work boat, but it's not an island boat.
Right.
And
Right.
so what makes that an island boat? Well,
Mm-hmm.
it's very little, it's very subtle, but
Mm-hmm.
the lines, it's the island, that's where it
Mm-hmm.
comes. You probably grew up hearing too,
Yep.
like that boat's got the prettiest lines.
Yep.
And
Yep.
that's the island lines on that boat is what made, and I had to convey that in a shirt, but was very something simple that my decal cutting machine could cut.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
so it had to be simple but undeniable. When somebody saw it, it's just that's what it is. It's an island boat,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right.
And so I started playing around with that, making a few, and I was like, great day. I don't know. I don't know if I've hit it or not. And I showed Brent one, and he didn't laugh, which I said, okay,
Hey.
that's a good sign.
That's good.
That's a good sign. And then, I started giving them away. People loved them. And I sat on it a few years and kept coming up with designs. And I said, I don't know. I mean, I people trying to get me to, try to do something with it. And so I said, what the heck? I don't have anything to lose. I like doing it. I love doing it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the only thing I got to lose if I could have a lifetime supply of comfort color shirts if, if it goes bad. And so, but yeah, I love it, and I love doing it for.
Yeah.
But
Well,
that's
they're
my
awesome.
latest hobby.
Mhm, I love it. And of course, I before I let you go anywhere, I've got to ask you this. I know you won't divulge too much, but can we expect to see a new Nutcracker this Christmas?
I, no,
No?
no.
Okay.
This
Okay.
is my. I think my wife is at her limit with giant nutcrackers,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody listening probably that has no idea, but yeah,
Yeah.
I
You've
started
made
making.
full like human size. How
Yeah, my
tall are they,
size.
Chad?
I modeled them after me, so 6'3". They're my
Wow.
height, my size, and
And you've made how many?
six.
Wow.
Six, yeah, and it was fun. It would take me about a month or over a month from start to finish, and I would always
Wow.
kind of like reveal it in Thanksgiving. And this
Mm-hmm.
year, I don't think if you went in my attic and looked in my attic, it would look really creepy because I got these giant nutcrackers lined up in a row. And
Got an army.
yeah, I bet it one of my friends was like, I'll give you $100 if you'll sleep up in this attic. but, but, uh, but no, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
I think everybody loved them, and I wouldn't mind making one and for somebody sometime,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and giving it
Yeah.
away or doing
Yeah.
whatever. But
Well, they are amazing. And so I had to ask because I knew it was getting that time of year. Yeah.
yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
it was fun doing it, but this year I think I'm gonna have to skip it.
Yeah. Well, it's not like you don't have 100 other things going on.
I might have
Yeah.
to make some t-shirts.
Gotta go. That's right. You got to make some t-shirts. That's right.
Yeah.
Well, Chad, is there anything that we haven't touched on that you wanted to mention while we were together?
I I don't know. We talked about a bunch. I mean, not really. I
Mm-hmm.
loved and very proud of where I grew up. Very
Mm-hmm.
proud of. Very proud of my family. Proud of the island. island crowd, and loved it all. And I want to give, if anybody's listening from Harker's Island to Cedar Island, has some cheap land and wants to sit, call me.
Yeah, that's
I'm
right.
call me. Yeah, I'm ready to go back home.
Yeah, I know. I know. I mean, we're getting to that point in our lives where it's like, okay, I miss home. Yep.
Yeah, I know it. I know it.
Yep.
But
But you're like me though. I mean, you go as often as you can. You get there and
I
visit
do.
and make good trips home that I know your mama enjoys.
Yeah, I do. I sure do. I made that trip a lot, many a
Hmm.
time for
Yes.
sure. But
Yes.
not getting any shorter.
Still hadn't found a shortcut, huh?
Yep. Yep.
Hmm. Well, thank you so much for sharing your time with us. I know that the listeners have enjoyed it. I certainly have. And I love you. I've loved you all your life. How about that?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, all my life. I know.
All
I
your
love you
life.
too. And
Hmm.
I also want to say I appreciate what you're doing. I look forward to listening to your podcast every Thursday on my way home from work. Now, I'm not going to listen to this one, but and when they end, I don't want them to end. I want them
Oh,
to keep going. I'm like, oh no, I want to hear more. And I just love it. I love it so much.
well, I appreciate that a lot because it is definitely a labor of love, and we hope that also, like you mentioned, the people listening, reach out to me if you know somebody that you want to preserve their story, you want to share their voice with others, reach out to me and let me know because I really I want to do more with people that I don't know. I would love to meet new people, and I need folks' help to do that, to meet these people, get the names to me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, Chad, thank you so much. And yeah, we're gonna have to trick you. What I'm gonna do is we'll not title this Chad Dickinson. We'll title it something else, and maybe we'll trick you into listening to it.
All right. All right. No, oh my goodness.
Oh man. Well, thank you again, and I hope to see you soon.
Absolutely. I love you. I'll talk to you later.
All right, love you. Thank you again for joining us to The Landing. This podcast is brought to you by the Core Sound Waterfowl Museum and Heritage Center. I am your host, Stacy Davis Baisden, and today's podcast was produced by April Davidson. Tune in next week as we continue learning, sharing, and remembering together. If you'd like to hear more, check out our previous episodes where you get your podcasts. Until then, stay safe and be kind.